Best plan is no plan, according to Dan the Man Mitchell, joining us again from Bills Mafia. He got jumped in years ago. I'm Brandon Pernier with Will Keys, who we've never been in any mafia. Some gangs? Sure.
Of course.
But we got kicked out for being too tough. So now we do podcasts on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Today's episode brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use code DNVR when you sign up. And if you bet on Dan's Buffalo Bills to win last week, you probably won. I don't know if they covered the spread, but they won the game. We talked last week, Dan. I said I was a little nervous about the Colts game, and it was close. Describe to me the state of emotions you went through during that game, and at any point, did you think the Bills were going to lose?
Yes. Several times I thought the Bills were going to lose, to be honest with you, man. I mean, really to describe it, I would normally say that it was like a roller coaster of ups and downs. And while Josh Allen did answer when we needed him to, there was always something in the back of my mind being like, okay, when are we going to fuck this up, right? Like they kept it way too close. I mean, they just ran the ball right down our throats like I completely expected Jonathan Taylor to do. But I would say probably the biggest moment where I was about to be like, damn, we're about to lose this game was just when Josh Allen fumbled. And then amazingly, our offensive lineman ran the fastest I think he's ever ran in his damn entire life and hopped on top of it. That was one. And then number two, that botched fumble call. As soon as when they didn't overturn it, like I just knew. I was like, let's pack the bags, boys. Let's bring on the narratives that Josh Allen, can't win the big games. So, I mean, I would say those two things were, but yeah, let's just put it this way. It was tough.
Yeah, you guys would have, I mean, if that botched fumble cost the Bills the game, it would have been, to me, the equivalent of the Saints outcry when the refs didn't throw the pass interference flag.
Oh,
right?
That Vikings game? Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the Bill, I guess to be fair to the refs, that one was a little bit closer. I can see how there's some leeway for an opinion there, but
yeah,
it's one of those calls where everybody's like, this is going to get overturned. Everybody on Twitter is like, that's a fumble. The announcers are like, we think that's a fumble. The ref they bring in, who's an expert, thinks it's a fumble. And then the officials in the game are like,
nah, let's keep this close.
They're like,
and
no
so I got
fumble.
the Colts winning the spread. You know what I mean? And so I got the Colts beating the spread. Let's stand this up.
Where's the confidence meter at on the last play of the game when you see Phillip Rivers load up for a Hail Mary?
Dude, and so I feel like we were talking about this last week, right? Like like the Bills' Hail Mary defense. Like, bro, like I had flashbacks. Like all I could see was DeAndre Hopkins just jumping over and catching it in. But I mean, luckily it didn't even make it to the end zone. And then number two, I mean, was tough, but was so satisfying to see once Micah Hyde batted it down, man. It really, really was. But
that was like not just a bat down, but an emphatic bat down.
Yeah.
He was like, this is not happening again.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like lingering around her a little bit. Like no one's diving for it. It just hits the ground. Emphatic. Exactly. Bills win.
And so he put the league on call. Not again.
Exactly.
It's our entire defense is going to be there next time, man.
You can't play the Cardinals in the playoffs. You might get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think you've exercised the Hail Mary demons.
Yeah. Hail Mary demon exercised. Your run defense demon not exercised.
Not addressed whatsoever.
We'll talk a little bit about the Ravens and Bills in a minute here. But because the Bills defense, they weren't good against the Colts, but they made some key stops at key moments. Like even at the end of the game, like Tre'Davious White had a great pass breakup. They forced the Colts to have to try for a Hail Mary, right? Like they only needed a field goal there and they couldn't get into field goal range. Right? I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the finals, they lost by 3. So they kept Indy out of field goal range. So there's a few key moments that the defense came through. So you got to feel okay about that. But overall, Josh Allen, besides that one fucking 23-yard sack loss fumble that you just talked about, he was great. Like, he showed up, and he's the reason they won that game. And to me, like, that answers every question anybody might have still had about him heading into this game. So, in a big game, he's going to come through. He wasn't the reason they would have lost if it went that way. And now you should have more confidence that he can carry Buffalo through the playoffs to the Super Bowl, knowing that I think Will and I were just talking about this. The Bills have, in our opinion, the hardest road just to get to the Super Bowl. And when you get through that sets you up to actually win it. So even if the Bills end up losing to like the Chiefs or the Ravens here, I think there's a lot of positives that came away from that win specifically because of Josh Allen's performance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, like when I ended up looking at the way that he played, and the reason that it's giving me hope throughout the rest of the playoffs is I read this super intriguing stat saying that so far Josh Allen has played 5 teams that were in the top 10 defensively, and he's 5-0, right against all of those teams moving forward.
That. That's a good stat.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. So it doesn't matter whether or not that they're right on the they love running zone, or whether or not that they just love bringing the house and running a lot of press man coverage. Josh Allen has ended up finding a way to be able to sort of beat them right in the way that he can. So, I mean, I feel like that Colts game was definitely a nail biter, but I do agree with you that I think that this was the final defensive step, basically showing the world that, hey, Josh Allen, he can't be confused no matter what defensive scheme you throw his way. He's going to find a way to make plays. And was definitely nice. But, I mean, then again, now we have another test on Saturday, which is the second scoring defense in the NFL, or the first?
I think they're second. The Rams were the first, I believe.
Okay.
So but they're either way you slice it.
Points
they're
allowed.
Really good.
Yeah.
The Ravens second to the Rams. Will, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good. They held Derrick Henry to what I think was his lowest yardage total of the game. You guys really aren't an offense that relies on a running back, but you're without Zach Moss. I saw you tweet that you want to give those Zach Moss carries to Devontae Freeman. Can you explain that?
I do. As a matter of fact. So as soon as when I learned that there's some type of exception that if you've been on the COVID-19 list already, then they'll just go on ahead and they'll shoot you out there. He's been practicing with the team already. And here's the deal, right? As much as I like TJ Yeldon, I mean, he has ball security issues. He's not going to be a huge deal breaker. And a lot of Bills fans love Antonio Williams, that rookie that came off of the practice squad that rushed for 2 touchdowns against the Dolphins the final week of the season. I really don't want that. I do like Devontae Freeman. I know that his final year in Atlanta wasn't necessarily ideal, and his very short showing with the New York Giants wasn't ideal as well. But I think that since he has playoff experience, and since I think that the Ravens wouldn't be preparing to see him, especially since he was never a part of our offensive scheme in general, I mean, I think go on ahead and just make him RB2 and just give him a couple of snaps. I mean, in my opinion, I think while Devontae Freeman has taken a step back from his prime, I think that he's a better option than TJ Yeldon, regardless of the fact of his familiarity of the playbook by itself. But I mean, really with the Ravens, they have a great run defense, but they're giving up 4.6 yards per carry. So they can get got, right? So, I mean, I'm hoping that Freeman could be the answer. I'd rather see him than Yeldon, but at the end of the day, I don't even really see us having the run game great in our game plan, to be frank. So who knows?
I think the key to your run game is actually just running with Josh Allen.
Yeah, right.
The way,
you're not saving him for anything.
Let him fucking run. He was the reason Like he was the only like effective runner against Indy, it felt like. And now you're playing. So it's just weird because the Ravens, they leaned on Lamar Jackson to beat, the Titans, right? He rushed for like 136 yards or something, threw for 170 something. When you've got if you have to defend Josh Allen as a passer and worry about him running like he did against Indy, I think it opens up the passing game for him. And unlike Lamar Jackson, I'm certain that Josh Allen will take advantage of it. And knowing they're down maybe one of the running backs, but Buffalo's like struggled to find like consistency in the run game all season on offense. Like I'm not too worried about that, even if there's like a drop in production on whoever they bring in for Zach Moss, as much as you hate to see him go down. It's really going to be like how their defense hangs in there if Lamar Jackson is rushing well. J.K. Dobbins has a game. Mark Ingram didn't even play against the Titans. I know he hasn't played a ton this season, but that's just a different beast to try to defend in the run game. And the Ravens put up 236 against the Titans, and Buffalo allowed 163 for the Colts. So like the Ravens are going to rush a lot, and it's going to be like, it's a shootout type situation. And it's like, if the Bills can hang with the Ravens in a shootout, then they're probably just going to have to do it again against the Chiefs in the next round. Yeah. So might as well figure out how to do it now and get ready to do it again.
Right. Exactly. And so honestly, like when I look at our defense, I mean, we're essentially just a bend but not break defense. And that's, as much as I don't want to see it, that's just what the Buffalo Bills defense has evolved to. But I mean, really my only hope of us being able to stop the run by itself is just to play as absolutely physical as possible, punch the damn ball as much as you damn can, and create turnovers. Like that's really, in my opinion, the only way that we can silence their run game, because say that we're just focusing on just trying to contain them to very low run production. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Like, I mean, we need to be crossing our fingers for physical play and key turnovers when that happen.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't even know how good the Ravens defense is. Like they played great against Tennessee. They got a ton of pressure on Ryan Tannehill. But it's like their defense has been kind of, I don't know, up and down all year. You look back to the Browns game, and that was a shootout, for the Ravens defense. I think the Bills, one thing you guys need to do better is starting field position, because that really, that was, and I doubt that happens again. It was two insanely great, like the first punt was great, and that kickoff. How often do you see a kickoff just die like that? It was going to go out of bounds, but it just fucking stopped. And then of course you guys, they tried to return one of the kicks, get to like the 15 or 10 and a penalty on top of it. And it reminded me of the Broncos. Will and I, we watched the Broncos all season try to return kicks, and they sucked at it. And then they would get penalties on top of a shitty return. And it just seemed
just don't do it. Just
take the knee.
Just never return kicks.
Let Josh get one drive to start from the 25-yard line. And but then he digs them out of a hole and leads the best drive of his game, of the game. And it sort of finally kickstarted their offense. As long as they don't do that against the Ravens.
And so field position was atrocious. Like,
oh my God.
I think we had one that started on the 2, the 15, the 11, like it was all below the 20, right behind the 20 the entire game. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let's just hope that Andre Roberts, I've been waiting for him to bust one out like this entire season. And he really needs to, because with Isaiah McKenzie, like, I mean, his first return, he brought it back to the house. So, I mean, I feel like Andre Roberts is due to have a pretty good game from the special teams perspective, but yeah. And so especially like with all the clock that the Ravens are going to be eating up, like, I mean, I can almost guarantee you that the Ravens are going to win time of possession.
Right.
I'm almost willing to guarantee you that they are going to, by a large margin. So, I mean, time is of the essence. So not only do we need like great field position. We just need to like have an absolute air raid. And like, let's hope that weather is not a factor, because we all know that, ironically, the Buffalo Bills' bane of existence is shitty weather conditions. So
And Lamar Jackson said he's never played in the snow, so could work both
their
ways.
offense is built for shitty weather, though. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Maybe I could see him not being able to cut so well, because like that's his big strength, is like he can cut without slowing down, and that's a little harder in the snow. I don't know. I'm trying to spin this in a positive direction for you.
I think that's a good point, because the Browns game earlier this season, before Lamar Jackson took the famous shit,
The dumper around the world
in the into the third or fourth quarter, he was having trouble getting his footing in that game and had to switch cleats. And until he did that, he was having real problems. So the field conditions, I think, if they're bad, really do work in the Bills' favor, because I still think they can win in the passing game. I don't see that actually. Like, Josh Allen played at Wyoming. Like, he knows how to play in shit. Like, he played in wind probably all of his games. Like, he probably just got used to throwing in 40-mile-an-hour wind. So
for sure.
I think that could be an advantage, because I think it hinders Lamar Jackson more than anyone. But also, like, let's assume the Ravens get pressure on Josh Allen the way they did on Ryan Tannehill. I think Allen's better at handling it. He's done well against the blitz all season. And if the Ravens are going to do that, I think there's going to be players that are open, and Allen's going to find them. So I'm not worried about like an aggressive Ravens defense bringing pressure, unless they actually get to Allen over and over again, obviously. But knowing that's kind of the difference in their game against Tennessee, I just feel like the Bills are better at handling it.
Yeah, for sure. Which, I mean, really like almost makes me wonder if they're going to completely just change up their defensive scheme, especially since like that's all they do is blitz. I mean, they're like the number one team in blitzing. That's basically all they do. They bring the damn house to that front seven on a regular basis. But I mean, when you look at Allen, he's like first in the league for like a couple of like key statistics when it comes to him being blitzed at the end of the day. I mean, I'm almost curious to see if they completely revamp it and just do a bunch of disguise blitzes and drop as many people back into coverage as possible. Who knows? We'll see.
A smart defensive coordinator might do that.
Yeah. A smart one might. Yeah.
Or they're just like, this is how we've won this year, and we're going to stick to it. Like I would assume they're going to keep blitzing.
So I hope they do that.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Too.
Bring on the blitz, please.
Interesting. What player not named Lamar Jackson on offense or defense or even special teams are you most afraid of?
Marlon Humphreys.
Interesting. He kind of got beat early by AJ Brown, and then he figured it out pretty quickly.
He has 8 forced fumbles all year. He's like probably like one of the most physical cornerbacks in the entire league. And I mean, as much as I trust Stephon Diggs, I mean, I'm just hoping that like ball security is a huge part of practice this week. I really, really do. I think that he's an absolute animal. The defensive line, I mean, go ahead.
I'll say I think that's a good point, because I believe the Ravens led the league with 25 forced fumbles in the regular season. So
yeah, it's absurd.
The weather could make that interesting as well, if I want to full circle that shit.
Yeah. And so I say Marlon Humphreys 2, and then number 3 would have to be Justin Tucker. Like I said, that if there's like 15 seconds left in the game and like we're only up by 2 and I see Tucker running out to the field, like I'm just turning the TV off, because it's over. So I mean, while I fully anticipate this to be close, if it's close, I hope it's by 4 to 5 points, like not 2, not 3.
Right. Just 4.
That's a really good point.
Just don't let Tucker get us.
Don't let Tucker get
us.
Exactly.
If what's his name, the blue light glasses, Rodrigo Blankenship, doesn't hit one off the upright, I think the Colts have a little more flexibility there at the end to
kick a field goal.
rather than rely on Philip Rivers' noodle arm to get it to the 5. Different game.
Exactly. And so unfortunately, the Ravens don't have a rookie kicker this time. They just,
no, very good kicker.
The best in the league, perhaps.
You did miss last week.
He did.
To be fair.
He missed a 50
which means he's not going to miss
yarder
again in the playoffs. Yeah.
And so he's probably not due for another one until like 2024. So
yeah. If you could get an announcer jinx or something though. That's really the only way to.
And so I'd say that those are like the top 3 that I'm, sort of scared of.
Valid concerns.
Yeah, the Colts left a lot of points on the field. There's some weird coaching decisions. I don't think the Ravens.
I was gonna talk about that. Yeah, because I think the Bills' offense has gotten so good that it affects other teams psychologically now, like the Chiefs' offense does, where you see guys kind of chasing points even when they don't need to. And I think with kind of an average offense, Frank Reich kicks the field goal from the 4-yard line, which he should have done instead of go for it on 4th and goal there too early in the game. Do you think the Ravens are a team that gets caught up in that, or John Harbaugh's a little more even keeled and kind of plays his own game?
I think that Harbaugh has been, and so I think that Harbaugh is a better coach. Don't get me wrong. I have all the respect in the world for Frank Reich. I'm willing to make an argument that he outcoached Sean McDermott, Leslie Frazier, and Dable this entire game last week. But I mean, I don't think that Harbaugh is going to be like that. I think he's going to go on ahead and take the points when he can. But I do see them abandoning the run. Say that the Bills go up by like 2 scores, and that's what I'm hoping for. Is it the fact that with Lamar, he needs to beat us with his arm. But I mean, as far as discipline is concerned, now I think that they're probably about to be the most disciplined team we see all year. Say that we do move forward.
Yeah, Harbaugh's just got tons of playoff coaching experience too.
Yeah,
he knows
so much better than his brother. Nobody wants to talk about that, but God, in terms of the Harbaugh power ranking scale, just way, way ahead.
The Harbaugh power
opposite people.
What's that?
And so a Harbaugh tier list.
Yeah.
Polar opposites. Although I do miss Jim Harbaugh, just his presence in the NFL.
And he resigned with Michigan, didn't he?
Yeah, they extended him, right?
Yeah, he's back in Michigan. Yep, I kind of wanted him back. He's a wild card, is what he is.
He's one of those. He's one of those names that no matter how, like, he just signed an extension to stay in Michigan, but there are probably still some people out there like, maybe we could get him to be fill the head coaching vacancy for our team this year, right now. Like, there might be Texans fans like, sure. we could probably get Harbaugh, right? No, he just signed. It's just that name. Every year you will hear. It's like Bill Cowher. Like, for some reason,
it's like Bill Cowher, like
maybe Bill
Cowher's
coming out.
We need Bill Cowher. Oh my God.
Who else?
So I feel like every fan base like has like that.
It was like,
I feel like
every too.
And so I feel like every fan base like has like that one player, right? That like, like statistically he should not be on like the active roster at all, but like he just had like some amazing preseason performance. And they're like, oh my God, we need to bring him up. We need to bring him up. But at the end of the day, he has like no fit for the team whatsoever. For the Buffalo Bills, don't get me wrong. Love this guy's story. Cool story. It's Christian Wade, the rugby player from the UK. How many times I get, Dan, bro, we should totally bring up Christian Wade, man. I'm like, first off, dude, he's not even eligible to come to this team. And number 2, no. He's been playing football for 3 months. No.
Yeah. That guy has been Chad Kelly for the Broncos for a while.
Chad Kelly, Kyle Sloter,
Chad Kelly. They both played like really
Buffalo's
great,
favorite son, Chad Kelly.
Yeah, preseason games, and that like against the third string, defenses and shit. And don't get me wrong, I exploited the Chad Kelly hype train. Every time it was mentioned.
Oh, you exploited it? Oh no, it's insane. And so I feel like a lot of people too, like God forbid that like some like amazing player back in the day, he has like some second cousin with the same last name. Like, bro, 1st round draft pick. Let's go right now.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no. No, bro. He was a 3rd string at a community college. No.
That said.
His last name though, bro. So much history.
That said, I did clamor for Kyle Williams to come out of retirement and come in as a third down defensive lineman sort of player because he deserves to be there. He deserves to be with the Bills as they go through the playoffs. And actually, you could maybe argue he would help. Like, I know he's
dude, he
old.
probably could.
If he had 3 weeks to get into football shape, I think he could help the pass rush a little bit.
I'll take it a step further. I don't think you even have to play him on defense. I think you give him Zach Moss's carries.
Ooh,
just be a straight
put Kyle Williams in the backfield.
Hey, listen, I need to see a big man touchdown. That's what I need this game. Like, I need to see this for like a total Bills experience next week.
Who is Lee Smith? He's a tight end, right? But he kind of looks like a lineman.
Yeah.
The big blocking team.
Yeah.
I think the first touchdown he scored, I thought he was an offensive lineman at first.
Oh yeah, he's big.
No, he's just a heavy tight end.
He's a beefy boy, man.
6'6", 269 pounds. Yeah, so he's close to
I want to see a shootout between Lee Smith and Patrick Ricard on the other side. Talk about two beefy boys. He's like 6'2", 300 pounds.
Oh my God.
And the lead receiver for Baltimore last week.
And so it's always interesting to see who's going to be on the receiving end of just with a Josh Allen touchdown pass, man. I mean,
he throws to everyone.
Insane. Oh yeah. And so full transparency, when we brought up Jake Kumaro, I had no idea who that fool was.
Right.
I just saw some long brown locks strolling the end zone, touchdown, Jake Kumaro. I was like, fuck's this guy, right? But
from Green Bay.
Yeah,
right?
no, I think he.
Yeah, he's on Green Bay now, but yeah. And so we got him a job, apparently. You know what I mean?
They brought him in. He catches one pass for a touchdown against our team, and they're like, "All right, see ya. Congratulations, you did your job. Goodbye." We've got other guys to throw to again.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Dawson Knox get more targets?
He has a massive dropping issue.
Does he?
Yeah, last year especially. He's flashed it a little bit, but last year I did the math, and I'm pretty sure he had 12, 13 drops. If he were to catch just half of his drops, and Josh Allen would have been over 60% completion rate.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
that's like Jerry Jr. with us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. So I was pretty salty about that entire situation. But he's shown improvement so far. I mean, he still had some pretty key drops this year, but I mean, he's made some amazing catches too. He's feast or famine.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mostly see from him is he makes this one spectacular catch and that sticks in your mind. You're like, oh, that dude's fucking good. And you're like, oh, he hasn't had a catch since then, since that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
plus he looks like Vance Joy, the singer.
True.
Yeah, he does.
It's all coming back to me now.
And nothing was worse than that. And so nothing was worse than that Chicago Bears drop. So as long as I don't see something enough from Knox, then so I'm willing to see more opportunities on that end.
Is that the one way the Bills offense gets better next year? It's adding a really, really good option at tight end. I know Dawson Knox, he's good. He's pretty good. They spread out the ball pretty well there at the tight end position, but there's no Travis Kelce type that kind of.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, say for example that the Bills ended up getting some type of massive
Kyle Pitts or something.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that, then 110%. I mean, I would rank them right up there with the Kansas City Chiefs offense at that point. Say that we can keep everybody. But I mean, I just don't see the Bills drafting that early on the offensive side of things. I mean, like we were talking last week, I don't see Milano coming back next year. So I think first round, say that we do draft, it's most likely either going to be his replacement or we're going to be looking for a CB2. Because that's just that's how Brandon Beane's DNA is. He loves his defense, and I think that he'll continue to invest in as far as going out and finding somebody in free agency. I mean, we have no money. And so, now we're talking about extending Josh Allen too. this offseason. So yeah.
Here's the thing,
I
though.
think that we're gonna have to find what we have. Go ahead.
Here's the thing: the Kansas City Chiefs had no money. What was it? They had like
they had like
$70 or
they kept
$700 or $700.
Yeah, it was absurd.
They extended Mahomes forever. Like there can be some massaging that happens. So if of these three, there's a handful of free agent tight ends, but which one of these guys would you want, assuming, you could afford it? Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, or Mo Alley Cox?
Ooh.
Gerald Everett's in there coming out of Los Angeles. Rob Gronkowski, technically a free agent. But I'm going to limit it. I like Mo Alley Cox. I like Mo Alley Cox. Will likes Mo Alley Cox. So that's why he's the third option.
We love him.
What about Zach Ertz?
Oh,
maybe. Oh, yeah. He's not in this list, though.
Yeah, well, I just saw that, like,
I think he could be
like
had.
He's about to leave Philly or something like that. But realistically, as far as like being able to afford it, then I would say Ertz, because I have a feeling he'll be cheap, and I think that he might still have something to prove. But
that would be great.
Say that I could pick anybody. I'd probably go Hunter Henry, to be honest with you. And so, he's definitely lived up to his job, especially with how much he was targeted by Herbert this year. So, yeah. But, don't get me wrong, I do like Mo Alley Cox too. And so, he destroyed us last week. So, that was good.
Yeah, it's just the name.
It's just fun to say.
That's
so
why.
much fun with Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah.
Good content.
Mo Alley Cox. Some of the best names in football. Like that was good. And so I missed David Blow.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Damn.
So did you watch the Ravens Titans game?
I did.
Who did you find yourself pulling for to win?
Dude, honestly, I didn't care because I was just anticipating this team that was playing to play the Chiefs this week, because I just thought the Steelers were going to win. I thought that they could beat the Browns. I thought that they'd turn it up in the playoffs. But looks like the Browns, they ruined it for me. And they ruined it for Bills fans, make it a very difficult road right down to the Super Bowl. But believe it or not, I was rooting for the Ravens at the time because I just love a good revenge game. And so a good revenge story, right? Like Lamar had a lot to prove, and the Titans, they were the ones that ended up, sort of making sure, right, that the Ravens were out of the playoffs last year. So at the time was rooting for the Ravens, and so to be honest with you, I would have much rather play the Titans this week as well. Like, I think the Ravens are probably at like the bottom tier of the team that I wanted to play this entire week. And then the universe just so happened to make that happen for me. So
yeah, the Bills it's just a better matchup for their offense against Tennessee's defense. You worry about the Titans or the Ravens just killing you with the run, but at least you feel like you've got a real advantage against Tennessee's defense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This, just like last week, this game could go either way. It's like both teams have so many ways they can beat you. And
is there a line on the game?
2.5.
2.5 points.
2.5.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
That sounds a little disrespectful. Buffalo playing at home, usually you get like 3 points is an even game. So I think that means the public is kind of on the Ravens a little bit.
Yeah.
You're basically an underdog again. Maybe that's where you
really are. Yeah, we really are. And so, but then again, and say that Baker Mayfield can throw the ball all over that damn secondary this year, and so they lost still, and so I think Josh Allen is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. So I think that he's going to be able to exploit a couple of weaknesses and a few mismatches. But while the line, I suppose, could be sort of disrespectful, I don't think it's too far off, man.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
Okay. So no annihilation this week.
Yeah, unless
No
the weather
murder.
really is.
Yeah, no nothing. Yeah, nah, this is
Shitty.
gonna be a nail biter.
No, the Bills, like I said at the beginning, they've got a tough path to the Super Bowl. If they can just eke out like close wins, that is like the best recipe for them to get their first Super Bowl win, because that's how the Broncos got it. So I think it'll benefit Buffalo if they can just get through the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And then maybe the Browns beat the Chiefs and we get Browns, Bills, AFC Championship. Didn't think it was going to be possible. And I feel like in that matchup, I trust Buffalo to finish the job against Cleveland. Although then again, you're facing another team that can run the fucking ball.
Run the damn ball.
You would have to face like the three best rushing teams to get to the Super Bowl through the AFC, and then probably play a completely different team in the Super Bowl. But
yeah. And so they play the Packers or the Buccaneers, which are a hell of a lot more of a
just throwing the ball everywhere.
Yeah. That's fine though.
Yeah.
Do it. Just who knows? Who knows, man?
Well, how hard are you going to be rooting for the Browns on Sunday if the Bills win?
Oh, so hard, dude. Like I am going to be the biggest Browns fan. If the Bills win.
Isn't that weird though? Because like you've got the Bills, if they make it to the AFC Championship, I think they're just that good. But then the Browns, on the other hand, if they beat the Steelers and the Chiefs, it's like, all right, now you're almost like rooting to play a team of destiny.
Oh yeah.
So that's a little concerning. It's kind of a catch-22.
It really is.
Destiny. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I do think that the Bills are probably in that category too, right?
That's true.
So especially being like the bottom dwellers for a long time. I think that the ratings would be sort of low, say that it was Bills and Browns. And so I feel like the ratings would be much higher, say that it was the Bills and the Chiefs. But I mean, I would prefer that matchup. And I mean, honestly, I don't really think that it's out of the question that the Browns have zero chance against the Chiefs.
Oh, no, they got a chance.
Oh, yeah. I think they do.
It's smaller than their chance was to beat the Steelers, but they have a chance.
Yeah.
And
so the Chiefs like really haven't been like burying teams this year.
No.
And
they haven't won a game by 2 scores since they played the Jets.
Yeah.
Way earlier in the season.
And so God forbid that like they come out rusty and from that bye week, like honestly, I didn't even want the bye week. And so I was glad that this became a 7 playoff like scheme, because I mean, and so with the Bills, like we play like absolute ass, like coming off of a bye for the past year. So, I mean, I didn't even want it. All I wanted was just momentum going into it. And who knows?
I think you got it.
Yeah.
Should we get a final score prediction? Bills Ravens.
35-31. 35-31 Bills.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I hope so. That sounds like a fucking awesome game to watch.
Yeah, dude, right? And then, I mean, like I said,
observer.
And like I said, man, listen, just give me 3 to 4 points and please let us have the final possession. Please let us have the final possession. Give me a garbage time touchdown from the Ravens. Give me a failed onside kick and give me the knee. Let's go into the AFC Championship.
There it is. I think that's really what Buffalo needs to do, is steal a score somewhere, right? Like a pick six, like you said, a special teams touchdown, just like one of those things I think will make a huge difference for Buffalo. Yeah. But 35-31 would be awesome. I think they're going to win by 3. But I think they'll have the ball at the end, so they don't have to worry about Tucker.
Okay, good. What do you got, Will?
I'm going to go Buffalo. I think I was close last week. I don't remember what I predicted, but I had something in the 20s, and I'm going to do the 20s again. I'm going to do Buffalo 24, Baltimore 19. Why not?
Damn.
Weird score like that.
I say 30-27. So
30. Oh my God.
You're gonna, how
gray hair, man.
Yeah.
Gray hair.
You don't you don't get to the Super Bowl without sweating it out. That's just how it is.
No,
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's fun that way. It's so much more fun that way.
Yeah,
it really is. We've done it both ways.
I learned how much I really want the Bills to win based on how many knots were in my stomach watching the Colts game. It's like something you can't control, right? Like,
yeah.
I know I hate Tom Brady more than I hate the Patriots because of the way I watched Bucs games this year and just wanted them to lose. And I was watching that Bills game and I started to feel like I was watching a Broncos game. Like that's how much I wanted them to win. And I think it's going to be tough. It's going to feel like that again this week. And I like the Ravens. Like I was pulling for the Ravens last year, but I really want to see Buffalo get there. So we'll see if it happens. Also, I forgot, like, if you use Bills Mafia content in your video where they're jumping onto tables of fire, you've got to click a button that says this content isn't appropriate for advertisers. Because I got a stupid YouTube, like, I can't make any money on the video, and now YouTube's like punishing me on my uploads and making me not monetize it. And I was like, what was so bad in this video? I was like, did I say something fucked up? And I clicked on the info and it's like harmful or dangerous content because I used the Bills guy jumping into the fire table. I was like, oh, God damn it, I forgot.
Dude. So it's funny because I don't think that I've gotten there yet where like YouTube has like recognized me and started picking on me because I mean, like I've put clips in there, nothing, still fully monetized. Like I like drop like a couple fucks, like 4 or 5 fucks right in the middle, nothing, still monetized. But like, yeah. So when did they start picking on you? And so
it's because I
20,000-30,000.
I know I criticized Chris Collins. Well, I made a video about that Chris Collinsworth remark. Okay. He said something that people thought was super offensive to women, and I defended him. But if you talk about a big topic like that can be offensive to a big group of people, YouTube wants you to mark that in your video, and I don't think I realized it. So what YouTube does is then every video after that, they will manually review before they allow it to get ads to run on it. And so I made 15 videos after that one where I correctly checked all their stupid boxes. And then I didn't even think about the fire table thing as a dangerous act because to me, it doesn't register like that because we've seen it so many times from Bills fans. And it's not like I'm glorifying it. They don't want people to be like, this is cool, you should do it. Like, I just showed it and it's something you laugh at. I'm not saying
you should try this at home.
Do this shit.
Kids especially.
Yeah, so after that one, I got a more strict warning. It's like, you have had multiple videos that you didn't label correctly. And I'm like, oh. Now, and I don't know how long I have to correctly label videos before they start repealing that shit and just, I don't know, it's just a dumb process.
And so your biggest piece of advice is don't go after major names about controversial topics.
Yeah.
And I can continue to slide under the radar.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Be as vanilla as possible.
as vanilla as possible, but how? I basically just told it myself. Who knows? And so while they're manually reviewing this one, I'm sure that oh fuck.
No, it's on the other channel. They're not going to see this.
Thank God. Beautiful.
This channel's good.
Beautiful.
Anyway,
you can say whatever you want on here,
Dan. Everybody, you can subscribe to Dan's YouTube channel, Dan Mitchell, right?
Yep. That's it.
Just his name, and real Dan Mitchell on Twitter.
Not that fake one.
Fake son of a bitch.
Not that.
Tried to sell you Amway.
Oh man.
Avon.
So thanks for having me on again, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, hopefully it's not the last time this season. Let's do it next week.
If the Bills win, we got to keep going.
Yeah, Buffalo all the way this time.
Keep going.
Buffalo all the way.
Let's do it.